Some new stories for you from Ethiopia. Firstly, Ethiopia-Sudan border. In previous videos, I reported about fighting between Tigray fighters and Ethiopian forces on Sudan-Ethiopia border. It seems that in more than one places this fighting occurred, and situation is far from being peaceful. In some areas still fighting is being reported. We have some details for you about where this fighting happened. It wasn't just near Humra. 3 places have been identified where clashes broke out between Tigray fighters and Amhara forces and Ethiopian government forces. Secondly, viewers, we know that more than 2 weeks ago, several Tigrayans, civilians, they were burnt alive in Benishangul Gumuz region of Ethiopia. They were burnt alive by members of security forces. Who were the perpetrators? Now, reportedly, 40 accused have been arrested. Who are members of security forces. Are they members of Amhara security forces, Ethiopian National Defense Force members, or members of other regions' forces? We have some details for you. Thirdly, viewers, Ethiopian state-backed media has made some claims about recent rains in drought-hit areas. I reported about rains in Borana zone of Oromia, where we know that a severe drought has hit this zone and Somali region of Ethiopia. But since Thursday, rainfall is being reported in several parts of Borana. Now, Ethiopian government is taking credit for these rains. Lastly, today we know that some protests are expected in the US on Monday against HR 6600. In Washington DC, Ethiopian diaspora members, Eritrean diaspora members, they are expected to participate in a large rally. We'll update you in coming hours about this protest. Before that, we have a video clip for you from Los Angeles where pro-Fano Amhara diaspora members protested. I am Fano protest was held in Los Angeles. We have a video clip for you. Let's start from Ethiopia-Sudan border. Fighting broke out there. I reported in a video, I think 4 days ago. Now we have received more reports confirming that in more than one areas, Tigray fighters and Amhara forces, Ethiopian government forces clashed. Firstly, in the previous video, I told you about Dima checkpoint on Ethiopia-Sudan border near Humra was the place where Tigray fighters managed to reach. And there fighting happened. Secondly, Brecht, which is at a distance from Humra, around 30-40 kilometers away from Humra. Brecht is a settlement, a large settlement, like a small town, you can say, and there is heavy presence of Ethiopian government forces in and near Brecht. Near Brecht as well, heavy clashes erupted between Tigray fighters and government forces. And thirdly, it's Lugdi. Reportedly, Tigray fighters managed to reach Lugdi as well, which is very close to, it's right on Sudan-Ethiopia border. And from Lugdi, they were trying to penetrate Volkayet. But here again, fighting happened. And though government-backed news sources say that these attacks have been repelled and the areas, all of them are under the control of Amhara forces, Ethiopian National Defense Force. But clashes in at least 3 places, Brecht, Lugdi and Dima, indicate that Tigray fighters, they are organizing on Sudan side of Sudan-Ethiopia border. Tigray government officially denies any mobilization of its fighters on Sudan side of the border, but we know that we have been reporting in previous videos that somehow Tigray fighters, they have managed to organize themselves on Sudan's soil, and Ethiopian government has been accusing Sudanese army in the past of backing, of arming, of training Tigray fighters, and that is why perhaps Ethiopia-Sudan relations have been very strained in recent months. One Ethiopian general, TDF general, is named that he is in Sudan and he is training and arming, and he is the one who is running these TDF camps on Sudan side of Sudan, Ethiopia border. So Tigray fighters are definitely organizing on Sudan side of the border. We could see a large scale offensive from Sudan side of the border. If this humanitarian truce fails, so far we cannot say it has failed, though no signs of any delivery of aid to Tigray so far. If the truce fails, we could see an attempt by Tigray fighters to open a corridor with Sudan, which Tigray forces have been openly saying that they will open this corridor, they'll break the siege at any cost. By breaking the siege, definitely TDF means that it needs a corridor with some neighboring country for delivery of aid. So we could see then attack from Sudan side of the border and from Tigray, Central Tigray towards Volkayet, Humra, Sagade if the truce fails. So far, small scale clashes are still being reported close to these three places. Secondly, more than 2 weeks ago, several Tigrayans were burnt alive by Ethiopian government forces in Benishangul Gumuz region of Ethiopia. They were suspected of being involved in an attack which happened a day before this incident, in which dozens of Ethiopian National Defense Force members and some dam workers were killed in an ambush in Matakal zone of Benishangul Gumuz. Who were the perpetrators? Now, government has made some arrests. Some members of the security forces have been arrested. What we have learned is that so far 40 security officials have been arrested who are suspected of being involved in the incident of burning Tigrayans alive. 40 security officials have been arrested. 23 are from Sidama region. They were deployed to Benishangul Gumuz region. We know that in Benishangul Gumuz, there is deployment of all regional forces, Sidama, SNNPR, Amhara. Deployment is basically to protect the dam site, GERD, Grand Ethiopia Renaissance Dam site in Matakal zone of BG. So 23 members of Sidama regional force have been arrested. And 17 members of defense force, federal defense force, it seems that they are ENDF members, Ethiopian National Defense Force members, they have also been arrested. So 40 arrests so far. No member of Amhara regional force, no Fano member has been arrested so far. Is it because they were not involved in this incident or because they are at large, that is why they have not been arrested? It's not clear. Amhara government-backed news sources say that their forces, militias, were not involved in this attack. But some experts who analyzed the video of the burning alive of Tigrayans, they said that some members of Amhara force were involved. But so far, no Amhara regional force members, Amhara special force members, Amhara Fanos have been arrested in this investigation. Investigation is ongoing. We might see more arrests in coming days. Thirdly, viewers, ongoing drought in Borana and Somali region, the government is taking credit for recent rains. We know that in Borana zone of Oromia, Since Thursday, rains have been reported in most of the cabales of Borana zone where there is drought. Heavy rainfall is being reported in Somali region as well. Now, government is taking credit for these rains. Government-backed news source FBC Fano shared a video a few hours ago. Fano says the government has worked on a cloud development technology which is now working. That is why in Borana the rains, Borana received rains. I am not expert. I don't know about the science of making rains. How is it done? And does Ethiopian government have this sort of capability? But my question is, why did Ethiopian government wait? Was it waiting for the drought to start and then use this technology? If Ethiopian government has this technology, which it claims to have, it should have been used before the start of drought. Why did it wait for thousands to suffer and then use this technology to make rains? Lastly, we have a video clip for you. It is from Los Angeles, US. We know that on Monday today, Ethiopian diaspora members and Eritreans are going to take out a rally, a protest in Washington, D.C. against HR 6600 and S 3199, two bills which propose sanctions on Ethiopian government. The bills are pending. HR 6600 is pending with US House. S 3199 is pending with Senate's Committee on Foreign Relations. If the bills are passed, it could lead to sanctions on Ethiopian government. It could lead to restrictions on the government, and government would not be able to secure loans from international monetary institutions. So serious sanctions are expected if the bills are passed. Before that, Ethiopian government is trying to mobilize diaspora members. But diaspora is split, viewers. We have this clip from Los Angeles where yesterday the protest was carried out by Amhara diaspora members who urged PM Abiy to take action. They say that Fano should not be targeted. Amharas are the victims of genocide, Afars are the victims of TPLF's attacks, but government is silent. PM Abiy is silent. Why isn't PM Abiy taking action against Oromo Liberation Front and Tigray fighters who are involved in alleged genocide of Amharas and Afars? So, diaspora split. Watch this clip from Los Angeles. We'll update you about the rally in Washington, D.C. in coming hours. To watch two clips. First clip is the claim shared by government-backed news source that the recent rains were due to a technology used by government. And second clip shows the protest which happened in Los Angeles. I am Fano protest, which was against Ethiopian government, you can say. Thank you for watching.
That's not what's happening. As a result, we have an Armada genocide that's going on. Armadas are attacked daily. Out of the over 110 million Ethiopians there, 11 million are now displaced. And this is happening because of people that are associated with the Tigrayan Liberation People's Front and the people that are associated with the Oromo Liberation Front. That's it. We solve those two problems, we have a peaceful Ethiopia. So when is Prime Minister Abiy going to stand up for the innocent? When is Prime Minister Abiy going to stand up for the Fano, for the Amaras, for the Afars? I'm confused. We stood up for Ethiopia, whether